Okay, my name is Joel Bennett. I was born in New Albany, Mississippi a long, long, long time ago. And we're doing a building now, restoration of a building. It's called the Henderson Building. And the Henderson Building, Leanne has already filmed a couple times. We're working on it every day. It'll have a hotel on the top. It'll have a restaurant on the main floor. In the basement, it will have a speakeasy and also a spa. Okay. How that building came to be, kinda, started from the building we're in right now. This is in Ripley, Mississippi. This is called Inn on the Square, and it's downtown on the square in Ripley. And how this came into being is I lived in Las Vegas. My wife and I lived in Las Vegas. And about 12 years ago, I was in Ripley, and every time I would come to Ripley to see my mom, all I did was cut the grass, cut the trees, paint the shed, paint the barn. It was always upkeep because Mother lived out on Highway 15 south towards New Albany. So my brother would come up from Jackson, Mississippi, where he lived, and all he and I did was work at Mother's for upkeep. So one night, I'm going to go to bed. It's on a Friday night, and it's 8:30 my time in Vegas, but it's 10:30 here, but I couldn't sleep, so I got in the car. I just wanted to drive around, so I drove around, and I came to downtown Ripley. 12 years ago, it wasn't doing that good. There was a lot of open space that just wasn't doing that good. And I told my wife, I said, tomorrow, I want to go into a place called Joanne's Gifts. Because when I was a little boy, I'd go in there with my grandfather and look up through the floor, and there was the coolest pulley up in the top of that place because I didn't know it. But this place was built in 1904. It was built as Ripley Feed and Seed. And what they would do is they would put their hay and their feed on that pulley system up there and bringing everything up on that pulley, but there was a big hole in the floor. And I thought that was the coolest thing. So I brought my wife down here to see it, but it had a floor put in it. You couldn't even see the pulley. I asked the lady downstairs, I said, would you mind if I go upstairs and just look? Well, I remember as a little boy, and I'm talking 8 or 9 years old, how cool it was, what it looked like. She said, sure, Joel, go ahead. So I go up, and I walked down stepped over all the junk, and looked up, and that pulley is still there. I'm looking up that pulley with all that glass, that cupola up there. I look down there, and there's windows, and I look down here, and there's windows, and I thought, man, that could be the coolest condo in the world because of that cupola. The walls had plaster, they were yucky and falling off, but it had these good floors that were put down here in 1904. They're heart pine floors, they're gorgeous. They weren't gorgeous then because they needed a lot of work, but anyway. But I knew we could fix them up and make them look good. So I went to Mom. I said, Mom, would you ever sell this place out here and come off the farm and live maybe downtown? And she said, she said, Joel, nobody lives downtown. I said, I know, Mom, but other small towns, people live downtown. And if you live downtown, you wouldn't have a yard, you wouldn't have a shed, you wouldn't have a barn, you wouldn't have all this upkeep. And she said, well, I'd think about it. So we came back, I brought Mother upstairs. She looked at it, it was so full of junk. The cupola was literally falling in, everything's bad. And she looked at me and she said, Joel, what have you been smoking out there in Vegas? I said, Mom, it could be fixed. And she says, yeah, right. And anyway, I talked her into it. I went ahead and bought the building. And that's how this all started. This was going to be a 5-bedroom house for Mother to live upstairs. When my sister and when my brother and I came to visit, we would everybody have their own bedroom, and this was going to be a 5-bedroom house when I got it finished. Except I made one little minor details mistake. When I went to get my building permit, they wouldn't give it to me because no one lives in downtown Ripley. It was zone commercial. They wanted to keep it commercial. Nobody lives downtown. So I got a lawyer, and we got them to change it where you could live upstairs, not downstairs. And And the reason that kind of helped me is a long, long time ago when all these were built, like a lawyer would live upstairs, but his business was downstairs. A doctor would live upstairs, but the business was downstairs. So when this place was built back around 1900, there were people who lived downtown. And usually their profession or their business was below. So we went before the board of aldermen or whoever it was, and I got the lawyer, and we got it changed, and they said, okay, Joel, Mimi can live upstairs, but you cannot live downstairs. We want to keep it business. I understood that. I got it. You can't be residential downstairs. So, flying back to Vegas one night, I'm thinking, and my wife says, be careful what business is. You need to be there for a business. I said, I know. So, we didn't really want a business, so I got to thinking, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to put a hotel in there. We'll have 3 rooms downstairs, and Donna, I don't care if anyone ever stays there or not, because now guess what? When we come home, we got a room. When Mike comes up, he's got a room. Everybody has a room, so we're good. So we decided to do it, and we built 3 hotel rooms downstairs. We made them bigger than a normal hotel room, and they're nice because they were going to be my place to stay when I came to visit. So we did it. We built the hotel. Then for about 16 to 17 months, I can't remember, every time we came to stay and visit my mother, we stayed at the Best Western because the hotel was booked. It just took off. I can't tell you how lucky we were, how fortunate we were, because that little hotel did really, really well. The best thing about the hotel, at that time, Mom was 80, and we had a person that cleaned it, and Mother thought they're not doing as good a job as they should. I'm going to clean the hotel. I'll take care of the hotel. So my mother, at 80 years old, ran the hotel. Everybody knew her when they would come in. It was, hi, Mimi, how you doing? She knew everybody. She knew all our guests, because we built that downstairs for us, but also we wanted to have business people. So all the businesses, people like at Diesel or Ashley or whoever, would have a place to stay that was nice. And I traveled all my life, and I lived in hotels forever, and I kind of knew what they were looking for. So even the bathroom has the phone in the bathroom, and they're quiet. They're very. Anyway, I did try to do them upscale, and where somebody that was from, no matter where you're from, you'd be at home and feel okay in that hotel downstairs. And that's what we did. And then Mother cleaned them. And Mother was the head lady up until about, till she got to be 90. Then it got to be a little much. Now, when she was 87, what was neat is we have 3 rooms. There's 30 nights a month, so we had an opportunity to do 90 nights a month. But when we booked it out to about 66 or 65 or right in there, we would tell everybody we're booked, because I didn't want Mother to overextend herself. So she didn't clean that many, because I just told everybody we were booked. But that's how good the little hotel did. Not every month, but many, many, many months, we would kill it just so Mother wouldn't have to clean all that month. So that's how the hotel got here. That's how Mother got here. It was just happenstance. Had nothing to do with me planning all this out. I just bought this for her and for us to have a big place to stay, but it worked out to Mother's place and the hotel. That's how we got here.